The Defense Forces of Ukraine intensified the counteroffensive. The Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Hanna Malyar, said that during the offensive, Ukrainian soldiers performed military miracles that will go down in history. Ukrainian forces advance in conditions where the enemy has more weapons and more people. At the same time, Ukrainian troops are advancing, and the question should be asked primarily not about the number of kilometers traveled, but in general about the fact, are we moving forward or not? The fact that we are moving in conditions of enemy superiority is a sign of the high skill and courage of the Ukrainian defenders, Hanna Malyar reports. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine informs that the Defense Forces of Ukraine continue to conduct an offensive operation in the Bakhmut, Melitopol and Berdyan areas. Ukrainian soldiers are entrenched at the reached boundaries, inflict fire damage with artillery on identified enemy targets, carry out counter-battery countermeasures. The spokesman of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Andriy Kovalev, said that in the Bakhmut direction, Ukrainian defenders successfully repelled enemy attacks in the areas north of Kromovoy, east of Druzhba, and north of Klishchivka. The enemy launched an airstrike in the Klishchivka area of the Donetsk region. More than 15 settlements were damaged by enemy artillery shelling. The Armed Forces of Ukraine take the army of the Russian Federation near Staromayersky in a cauldron. Russian military propagandists report a difficult situation on the southern front, where the Armed Forces of Ukraine are conducting an intensive offensive. Russian military officer Romanov reports in his Telegram channel, "The situation for the occupiers is so difficult that soon they will be forced to retreat and leave the settlement, as they risk falling into the cauldron of Ukrainian soldiers." However, according to him, a chain reaction will follow, and immediately after the loss of Staromayersky, the occupiers can flee from Urozhny, which is located in the neighborhood to the east. Both settlements are held by the forces of two Russian armies. Romanov emphasizes that the armed forces of Ukraine strike at the flanks of the Russian group and can take it into a cauldron, while the Russian military does not take countermeasures. Everyone on the ground sees it, but no countermeasures are taken. The commanders do not have enough competences to solve this task, he reports. Ukrainian troops are also knocking out the occupiers from two villages south of Bakhmut. Last day, in the direction of Bakhmut, the fighters of the defense forces successfully repelled the attacks of the Russian invaders in the areas north of Free Kromovoy, below Bakhmut itself, and north of Klishchivka, south of Bakhmut. In addition, the invaders launched an airstrike in the Klishchivka area. Among other things, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported about this in the morning summary published on the official page on the Facebook social network. Near Melitopol, the enemy is suffering serious losses, and the Ukrainians are demoning the territories in order to advance. The press officer of a separate brigade of the Territorial Defense Forces, Oleksandr Kurbatov, reported that the enemy is losing 2 companies of personnel killed and wounded on a daily basis in the Tavria direction. He told about this on the air of the Espresso TV channel. On the Tavrias direction, constant heavy fighting is going on. Our units are trying to move forward and gain a foothold in the liberated areas. You have probably already heard that the armed forces of Ukraine are having some success in Staromayersky. However, now the enemy is counterattacking and trying to regain lost positions. There is nothing new in the tactics of the Russians. As soon as we enter their positions, they begin to counterattack, Kurbatov said. The press officer noted that the Russians have suffered heavy losses in the Tory direction. We still have a lot of work to do. Enemy mortars and artillery are very active in our direction. Also, the Russians are trying to bring reinforcements to the lost positions. This indicates that the Russians are constantly losing. In our direction, the enemy is losing about 2 men every day. In particular, killed and wounded, he added.